Hey folks, this is Bardic Dragoon. Welcome back to Let's Play Grandia 2 Anniversary Edition. So when we last left off, we had really accomplished nothing. We got the next phase of the story on the way with some cutscenes, had some food, wandered through the literally most pointless dungeon I have ever seen in an RPG, before calling it a day, because somehow that had all occupied about 20 minutes of time. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start exploring the Raul Hills here, with its really awesome field music here. And I'm probably going to excuse me. Okay. So yeah, not a lot happened last time around, and I mean, really, I guess maybe it's just me with the kind of trying to keep the timing of these videos in a certain realm unless I can, like with the boss fight against, or actually most of the major boss fights tend to be really lengthy. Damn it!
You'll freeze fast.
I don't know, maybe I can find a way. I really need to find a way to customize, because it gives you that option in the menu there. I need to read through the manual of this and figure out how you actually engage individual character AI. Because, like, if I could have Rowan not... Oh, god damn it. If I could have Rowan not spamming debuffs in fights where they... Oh, okay, actually, admittedly here is not a bad idea. Because these things love to cast Runner, which can be a problem. Because it gives them... Because they already have a pretty high, from what I can tell, chance of evading, and then the buffs from Runner actually boost that slightly. There we go. Alright. A new snowball fight, which will probably wake all of them up, but may also end up killing them if I'm lucky.
Expect an early winter with lots of snow.
And I think that's all three of them dead. Yep, there we go. Woo!
Oh, that was a breeze.
I still have... Okay, good. Still have Pirate's Ring equipped. Okay. I wanted to make sure. Pirate's Ring is a very useful skill. It actually increases the chance of enemies dropping items, which makes acquiring money that much easier. Always a good thing. There we go. The other thing I was looking for. Better weapon for Elena, sort of. It's actually one of those, you know, take a hit here for a bonus there. But quite frankly, I don't intend to have her moving around that much. So it's not that big of a deal if she, you know, has a low move stat. Alright, well, these are weak enemies, so let's just let the AI sort it out. Literally. The damage my characters are doing is like one-shotting things. Well, maybe not one-shotting, I mean technically it's multiple hits, but, you know, and they take... What were you even aiming for, Ryudo? Like, seriously.
Nothing withstands my blade.
That's kind of the point, Merrick. You are the party damage dealer and tank. I guess. I don't know. I haven't really thought to assign those kind of traditional RPG roles, party roles to the team, just because, I mean, really, the game doesn't require, like, that whole tank, DPS, healer, or, you know, dichotomy, the Holy Trinity, whatever you want to call it. It's not really a dichotomy at that point, so there's three. A trichotomy? I don't know. Point is, that whole thing, like, it doesn't make as much sense in this series. At least, not this one. I mean, I don't know, because even in the later ones, just, like, every character is built from the base to be an offense-focused character just because of the nature of the special moves. I mean, I think there were only...
Nothing withstands my blade.
2 healing-based special attacks in the entire series. Fina ends up getting one in the original Grandia. Aha! We have initiative. And then I think one of Elena's here also is a healing ability. No! I've come aflame! That's unfortunate. Still didn't do much damage though. I'm just too OP right now. But yeah, it just, you know, it's like only that, so like pretty much all the characters, you know, special attacks tend to be direct buffs, debuff, like personal buffs, debuffs, or damage dealing, with a few exceptions for things. Actually, no, wait. The Beastman, the big Beastman in Grandia Extreme, I think he had a healing special attack as well. Though I'm not 100% on that one, so don't quote me on it. I just remember when I was playing it, and like, kind of the moment I realized, like, I remember when I first played Grandia Extreme, I really loved the game, but I kind of went back like, yeah, it's a Grandia battle system, but just, you know, it's a Grandia, but it's all battles. There's none of like having to sit through cutscenes. At least there's very little of it. What cutscenes there are in that game are just so hilariously bad. But the final cutscene especially is really just so bad. It's hilarious, and it's like execution and idea. Seriously, that's a game. What little story there is just stupid. Would you leave Merrick alone, you stupid turtle-throwing demon? Yeah, he did. He's dead now. He came to regret it. Not that you did anything about it, Merrick. Yeah, okay. Anyway, I was saying... But yeah, but I just remember... when I, like, last time I went through and kind of played the game, I just remember that character doing a lot of healing. I don't remember just because I gave him... like healing-based mana egg, and I think he also had like a item, you know, usage boosting, or item usage speed boosting ability, skill, whatever. So I think that might be it. I don't remember if that was actually like legitimately a skill that he had that made him, you know, like kind of party healer. But yeah, or a special skill, whatever you want to call them. Either way, though, like I said, it doesn't make a lot of sense in this game to have that kind of normal tank, healer, DPS, because everybody kind of has that DPS kind of built into them in a lot of ways. Tanks with no way to control with like little to no way to control aggro, unless you consider, you know, canceling enemy actions, controlling aggro, which that's not really a tank kind of strategy. So I don't think that really counts as a, like, you know, tanking. But yeah, like this game just doesn't really do the whole traditional, you know, RPG, you know, there's gotta be a way out of this little maze. Nope, there is not. Okay. There's some more items in this little labyrinth here. I thought that we could just get across and go to the other side, but apparently not. Apparently we have got to do this the long way. To get the black quartz helm, which I honestly don't intend to use, mostly because the sleep resistance provided by my current helmet is useful. I mean, arguably sleep in this game, you know, you're unable to act until someone hits you. Doesn't really, it's not that threatening of a status ailment to your party. It's really not that threatening of one to your enemies. That's something you can control yourself well, and, you know, doling out who attacks what and when and all that fun stuff. But yeah, especially to your party, just because there's nothing to fear from, you know, not being able to act, because the enemies attack so randomly that there's really no reason that, you know, you're not going to be back awake in a few moments. So sleep resistance maybe isn't the most useful of status protections. But, by the way, these are kind of, you know, the environmental chests of this area. Basically, you'll notice that they fill with air, presumably air, and then they'll wiggle a little bit. If you touch them while they're filling or during that wiggle state, they will knock you backwards, which can oftentimes knock you into fights that you really don't want to get into. So you want to make sure that they've gone through and done their little wiggle thing. I think you guys are weak. Are you guys weak? Yeah, weak enough. Yeah, before you actually hit them, but you can get a lot of seeds in those, which, even though I haven't used them yet, and there's a reason for that, anybody, or any of you who have played this game will probably know exactly why I'm not using my stat boosting seeds. Heck, even if you haven't played this game, you can probably put 2 and 2 together and figure it out pretty easily.
Nothing withstands my blade.
But yeah. Okay, and... Let that fill up. Cut it open. And... yeah, myriad power nut. Not quite as useful as the actual stat boosting nuts. I mean, the stat buffing nuts aren't bad. Particularly, they can be useful in... There's one fight that's probably going to be quite a bit of a challenge. Ow! I thought it was full already. But yeah, it's probably going to be quite a bit of a challenge, mostly because I'm going to kind of make a challenge run out of that fight. I mean, it's a pretty interesting fight in its own right, and I think we've still got a slight bit of a way to go before we hit it. But yeah, I'm going to be making one of the fights harder for myself. Because achievement whoring. Also, because, I don't know. I'm still not terribly impressed with the hard difficulty in this. Like, it's harder, but it doesn't feel quite like it's challenging. Actually, it really doesn't even feel like it's harder in a lot of ways. I mean, the way that I'm playing the game now is how I remember playing the game back when I originally played it on PS2 back in the day. So, yeah, there's that. I don't know. Okay, I keep going back to, like, as I'm talk about the other Grandia games. And, like, the other day I actually noticed Grandia 3 is actually available on PSN. And I am, like, so tempted to, you know, buy that and do a playthrough. Though, to be honest, there are some other things that I want to do first. And after, like, a big, long RPG like this, I think I'm going to take a break from doing RPGs. I mean, I love RPGs, and I might, you know, in the long run, assuming I don't get bored of this one day and decide, okay, that's it, I'm done. I mean, I kind of already did that, and then I came back because I kind of forget why I came back and started doing this. Who cares? But actually, no, I didn't get bored with it before. I just got really annoyed and frustrated with the whole process and proceedings, and my capacity, or occasionally lack thereof, to actually do it was more the problem with that. But I'm getting off topic here. The point is, like, you know, one of those things, as, you know, if I were to, you know, in a theoretical, you know, I just never stop doing this in the long run before, or if I stop, or, you know, for whatever reason, doing this, you know, kind of you go back on the history of the things that I did, I would probably end up mostly with RPG, just because I really like RPG games. I don't know. Let's actually have a fight here. And by fight, I mean let's gang up on these grouped together enemies and kill them all before they get a chance to do anything.
How about this?
But yeah, as I said, like, this battle system I do like in a lot of ways. It, at the very least, is visually interesting in a way that a lot of other battle systems don't tend to be. I mean, I'd probably say main contender for visually interesting RPG battle systems to me would probably be Xenosaga Episode 3. Just because, like, the attack animations are just great in that game. Just taste it! But yeah, the attack animations in that game just have so many great aspects to them that it's hard not to just appreciate the way the battles look. Actually, I don't know, the Grandia, or not Grandia, the Xenosaga series is one like I always have a hard time deciding what do I think about the why do I keep saying Grand? Probably because I'm playing Grandia. It's like, oh, what's that in my face? I'm not really thinking this through. Oh, what's that RPG series? Oh, hey, I'm playing Grandia. Was it Grandia? I think it was Grandia. I don't know. But anyway, the Xenosaga series is one like I've always felt that like I would want them to bring it back and do like an HD version of that. I would be all over that. My main problem with it would be, why did I just heal myself? Oh well. My main problem with it though would be the fact that I want them to settle down on a game system, either 3 or 2 or better yet. Do a ground, because like it wouldn't be just like, you know, do a HD re-release of all 3 games, because really the 3 games as they stand right now are completely incoherent gameplay wise. I mean, you can say what you want about their stories, whether they're coherent, incoherent, what have you. I mean, that depends on your willingness to sit through stupidly long cutscenes filled with, you know, Judeo-Christian symbolism and psychobabble. Which is actually kind of interesting in its own way, but, I mean, not everybody has a lot of tolerance for that. I don't blame them personally, I mean, but whatever. But anyway, but mechanically, like, the series is just a giant mess. Like, the first game had an interesting battle system that just never goes anywhere. Like having each attack, I mean basically taking Xenogears and then making it so that way each of your normal attacks, and not just a small handful of your special attacks, but each normal and special attack actually has like elemental or other attack properties. And you know, plotting out and thinking about that. I want to go down to that. I want to see what's up with that boat. I think I found everything here that isn't going forward on this path to the inevitable exit from this dungeon. Let's see what's on this boat after we kill some lizard men. Anyway. But, like, the idea is really cool, but the problem is, you know, the distribution of like, elemental properties and whatnot, it's just so poorly done and all over the place. I didn't know they had it in them. But, yeah, just like, there's very little reason to even worry about elemental properties because your ability to exploit them is just so all over the place. And then the whole long and short thing and dealing with flying enemies and stuff like that, it just gets really stupid after a while, and just you're playing it and you aren't really doing anything. I don't know, it's I don't know, I just like, I feel like Xenosaga 1 probably had the most interesting mechanics, but is the worst game out of the trilogy. Xenosaga 2, I'm a bit of an oddball in that I actually think it's probably the best, like, its direction, its focus, and everything are really strong in that game, in, like, where it's going, what it's trying to do, seemingly. And there's just so many good design decisions, and the only thing I can really say is the fact that its battle system plays too much to, like, every fight is just this long, drawn-out encounter just by nature of how the battle mechanics work. Grandia, or Xenosaga 3 is probably the objectively best out of the series, but it's also, like, the safest, the most boring. That's the only one in the series that I can really say its story isn't just so in of it itself. Like, forcing them to take the last, what was it? They originally planned to be a 7-part series. Parts 1 and 2 were literally parts 1 and 2 of that 7-part series. 3 was actually like parts 4 through 7. And yeah, forcing them to consolidate that much of the story in a single go. Okay, I guess I shouldn't have gotten on the boat then. The boat was the way out of here. Who would have known? So I wonder what the other direction is. But yeah, it's like it's probably the most tightly focused of the narratives in the series, but its gameplay, it's just It's very safe, it's very easy to fall through and exploit. Battles are quicker, especially random battles, which is a nice step up from Xenosaga 2, where they just dragged on for forever. Like, they were mechanically interesting and challenging, but the battles just dragged on forever. Which is not so bad for the boss fights. I bet this is the other side of that broken bridge, isn't it? Yep. Hopefully there's some reason to come over here, besides just sheer curiosity. I mean, sheer curiosity is a reason in and of itself, so that's cool.
Chaotic Earth!
And, oh, that one got hit, so that's good. Okay, that's cool.
Oh, flames of blood and fire, spring forth!
These things move really, like, they act really quickly. But yeah, like I said though, mechanically, it's just, it plays everything too safe. Runner doesn't mean anything if I can just spam.
Go! Dragon rise! Yeah!
Seriously, what is it with that weird little roll thing he does at the end there? I don't even understand it. And there we go, that's one of them dead.
Ouch!
Ow. There we go. Actually, no, there's no point in that. Let's do this.
Oh, spears of
Crackalakin! Yeah, that came out of nowhere and it really needed to stay there, I think.
gotta work even harder.
No, we don't. We really didn't even have to work for that. I don't think we need to work harder. That just makes things sad. I mean, we're already on the verge of it just being sad, so, you know, working harder is not a good idea. Probably the only time in life where that would be a true statement. Actually, arguably, it's not even a true statement. I'm just lazy, and there is literally no reason to not be lazy with this. Somewhere between the game isn't that challenging, and me arguably being a little... Well, I can't say the game isn't challenging, but outside of certain spots, or outside of the majority of the game not being challenging. And then, of course, I'm also arguably a little over-leveled. Yeah, not much reason to, you know, try at all, much less try harder than we have been. Alright, turn on the AI. Let the AI slaughter them. You know, at some point I should probably heal Merrick, but I don't care. I don't care. Don't care. Just don't. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, Xenosaga, I wouldn't want them to do a, like, something like this, because, like, you know, just like, oh, graphical up convert, whatever, because that's not a good idea. The series, like, I mean, their graphics would be nice to see touched up, but it's kind of like, the first game has such a different graphical style from the second and third, and even the second and third aren't like, super similar, and then the gameplay just, I mean, I think probably the best of it would be to go for something kind of like Xenosaga. Well, actually, I can even say Xenosaga 1 and 2 on the DS, because they fixed the leveling problems the first game had and added some more complexity to the battle system, but I'm not sure the battle system was actually improved, per se. Watch me blow bubbles in my milk. I haven't thought of that in forever. I can remember the name of that webcomic, just so I can see if I can find... I'm pretty sure by this point I'd have to go like the Internet Archive to find it. Or like Life of Riley or something like that. That was such a weird comic. I mean, any comic that has a character who is the vampire half-son of, like, Al Gore, I mean, you know you're getting into something weird. Okay, well, we've been at this for about half an hour, and I think that's an appropriately weird enough point to end this off on. So I guess tune in next time where we'll be hitting up Cyrum to see what's going on there, and why Rowan was so insistent we go there. He has his reasons. Well, either way, until then, as always, later, folks.